All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of What's New Mama podcast. We are your hosts, Giselle and Amy.
Amy, yay!
So first off, we want to say thank you for bearing with us. Our schedules have been crazy. End of school year has definitely contributed to that. Family things that have been going on. So thank you guys for being patient, and hopefully you guys have been catching up on other episodes and, just giving us a little bit of time. So thank you. Right, Amy?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the end of the school year kind of like crept up on me, I think. And then I didn't know we had like a whole bunch of stuff to do with Sienna. Just she had like a kindergarten picnic, which because they don't do graduation here or moving up or anything like that. So we just get like a picnic for the parents and stuff. And then she's been it's been raining, so she hasn't had her field day. It's just been a little crazy. And then of course it was my birthday, and now it is Father's Day.
Father's Day, yeah. Well, I was going to say too, and also the smoke. Did you guys not get the smoke up there? Smoke.
Oh, and then I went away.
So schools were closed. You went away.
And then I went away. I forgot I went away. I'm trying to suppress that memory that I went away.
Wait, was it that traumatic?
No, I mean, going down, and it's funny because I was talking to Jess, telling her how good they were.
Yeah.
Because I was sending her picture updates of us
on
the trip going down, and she was like, "Oh, they look happy." I was like, "Yeah, they were fine." On the way back,
they didn't want to come back.
They did. It's just, I guess, just because they knew they were coming home, and Sienna knew she was going to be at school. It was impossible, and we got stuck on Jersey traffic. It was the day of the turnpike collapse in Philly.
I didn't.
I
didn't know.
Like, no.
So I had no idea this happened. I'm finding out now. What?
Last Sunday, I-95 in Philly, there was a collapse, a portion of the I-95 because of a tanker fire. So I guess we caught some of that traffic coming home. Though we don't go that way particularly,
but obviously people were,
it was still like diverting, I guess, and it was just backed up.
Gotcha.
So we got stuck in some of that traffic, and they were like, "When are we gonna get home?" And then it's just like once we hit like maybe like 40 minutes, I think it was left to get home, they were both crying, screaming. I was just like, for real.
Yeah.
So I guess I forgot about that. I was just like trying to suppress all that. I was like, all right. So yeah, I did go away, and then the smoke. We had school, but they just kept canceling like any after school programs or anything with to do related with outdoors.
With outside,
So,
yeah.
So it was pretty ugly up here. I don't know how bad it was.
It was terrible. The red sun. It was.
Oh yeah, I thought
smoke
we were having
everywhere.
Like apocalypse now.
You know, it's so funny because it didn't faze me, because when we were in California, so when we were in Berkeley and like San Fran, they had fires like around there, and there were times like I was freaking out over there because it was the first time I had experienced that. And I was like, what in the Resident Evil kind of post-apocalyptic crap is going on here? And people were going to work. We were wearing masks, and people were going to work just fine. And I got into the office, and I'm freaking out. And everybody's like, yeah, what do you, like, this is normal. This is California. This is what happens here. And I'm like, I'm not used to this. I'm a New Yorker. Like, what do you mean? But I got used to it over there. And like to the point where one day we got out and we were heading to work. The car was covered in soot. Oof. Like all these ashes were like coming through. And I'm like, I guess this is normal for Californians, I guess. But yeah, so when that happened here, I was like, oh, okay. No, not a big deal. But everybody else is freaking out.
We may be having more too.
We got some last night.
Again. It might be happening again.
It wasn't like orangey and like all that, but you can feel it. Like, like I was clearing my throat a lot last night, and we had to close the window. So it's happening. It's coming through, but it is crazy. 400 fires in Canada. 400 fires. Yeah. Like
global warming.
Global warming, and I think that happened in Brazil at one point, or Australia, but it was being done on purpose.
Yeah.
They were trying to like minimize. I don't know. They were trying to make room for construction and roads or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. A lot of stuff going on in the world.
I know.
But yeah, here we are.
Let's do
It's
Father's
Father's
Day.
Day. It's Father's Day.
Yes.
So, it kind of snuck up on us, I guess. Well,
Yeah, I
it did
think
on me.
so. I know for me, we were talking about this on the
Yeah.
phone the other day. It was just
Yeah.
like, oh, I can't believe Father's Day. And then it's like, I have zero ideas of what to do. I was just like, I don't know, man. And I
Yeah.
feel bad.
And they don't help either because they're kind of like, I don't want anything. I don't, at least Tom, right? Like
Hmm.
I told him, I was like, yesterday, I actually told him, I was like, I feel terrible because like we had a bunch of like family stuff going on. So
Hmm.
that, and obviously work crap and whatever, what I was going to order for him, I thought I ordered for him, but it was in the cart. Like, so it's still in the
Oh
cart.
my God.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I completely forgot, right? And I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, it'll get here. Like, it'll get
Hmm.
here or whatever. And then yesterday I was like, wait a minute. And then I went to check on my phone and I was like, I never actually pressed buy.
Oh my
And so I
God.
told him, I was like, listen, I feel terrible. I
You'll
didn't.
get it next week.
He's like, I don't care. He's like, you know me. I don't even want anything. I don't like
Hmm.
people spending money on me. I don't want anything, whatever. I was like, yeah, but it was a functional gift that I know that you need, right? So like
Hmm.
I try to always get him something like that. And usually his favorites, which is the Reese's peanut butter cups, but he likes
Hmm.
the egg shape, the
Hmm.
trees, or the football, right?
Hmm.
Because those taste different apparently from the regular ones.
Hmm. I still have to try them.
Because they don't have the sharp edges, right? So those are his favorite. Yeah. They do taste different. I don't know. I think it's the portion of the peanut
Okay.
butter versus
Yeah.
the chocolate.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Uh-huh.
Um, and then, a card with some inside jokes and funny things that we usually reference.
Hmm.
But that was like my go-to. But the gift part was kind of a
I
fail.
mean, I
So
think when Derek starts school, you're not gonna have to worry too much about
he's gonna
putting
make
too
it for
much
both of
effort.
us.
Yeah, because Sienna came home with a gift and she went to hide it again, and she
Okay.
didn't even let me see it. I actually saw it this morning. It's like she made like a little pot with a pinch
Okay.
pot. I think they call it a pinch pot. I don't know. It looks
Okay.
like a little dish, and she made it with clay by herself.
Is it
And
for
then
like tobacco or something like for
I,
death?
I I don't know. I'm like, what exactly is that for? But okay.
Yeah.
And then they used like her school picture and they put her picture of her embedded into it.
Into it.
But
That's so
this is the
cute.
school picture that she looks like she wants to cry. Like she's just like
Oh, yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
picture.
Yeah, yeah. So the picture that you guys were like, yeah, we're not gonna print those. We're gonna
Yeah, but it's been used for everything ever since it got taken. So people tell your
Okay.
kids in the fall if they take a portrait, make sure that you tell them to
You
smile and
practice.
not
You
to be
practice.
scared and not to be scared of the person taking the photo because I think that's what it
Oh,
was because it was
okay.
the first time taking a photo for
Okay.
school like
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
stranger she didn't know and she was just like and they just filed them in.
Mhm. All right, next. Yeah, and they
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
bring them
so
in.
she was just like ugh, in the photo and that's it, that's what we got and now it's stuck everywhere, her awards, her
Oh,
all the
gotcha.
gifts, the Christmas stuff. Yeah, so
The
I mean it's
Christmas
cute.
gifts too.
Yeah, they put like an ornament for us. They sent us an ornament and with her picture on it. And it's like, and we laugh and she laughs
Yeah,
about it now. She goes,
yeah.
Mom, it's this terrible picture that I don't want to see anymore. And I'm like, well, now you know, in the fall, first
Next
grade, you
time.
have to
Yeah,
smile
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
used for everything.
Gotcha. Well, I
So,
mean, you guys did your own picture, right? Or you
mhm.
redid a picture with
No,
her.
they did. They did take they take the spring photos
Okay.
in full body shots, like posing.
Okay, okay.
So that's the one that you saw.
That one was the
Hmm.
better of the
Yeah.
two.
Too bad
Gotcha.
they only use the headshots for things. And
But it'll be a funny memory. You'll save it in a box
oh man,
when
that's
she gets
terrible.
older. You guys will go through it. Be like,
Hmm.
remember this?
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm surprised. So, like, I was thinking of doing socks too with like
Their pictures.
pictures.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yeah.
yeah, that would be
I was
nice.
thinking of that too because she has a lot of cute like stick figure pictures
Yeah.
of her and dad that she draws, and I was
Okay.
gonna get those and put them on socks or
That would be
something, but
cute.
I don't know. I just I ended up doing something last minute and it still hasn't arrived. So
Okay.
and I told them I'm sorry. You're gonna get it like Thursday.
Okay,
So
that's fine. It'll be a
yeah.
surprise then. So,
Yeah.
What about Milo? Did he like build or
I bought like a Father's Day card and they filled
okay?
it out. Like Sienna put "I love you, Dad," because now
Yeah.
she's writing, so it's weird.
Yeah.
And he scribbled some stuff in it, and he
Yeah.
put, "Mom, that's a card for Dad," and I'm like, "Okay, doesn't look like one, but I'll put that
Okay.
in like parentheses,
Yeah.
card for Dad." And I'll sign
Okay.
his name for him and whatever. But it was cute.
Okay.
So they gave him that this morning. And
Oh,
then
that's
he
nice.
was, I was laughing because I was telling you, he was prepping because we're doing like a Father's Day
Barbecue.
barbecue with my dad coming
Yeah.
over. And he was prepping all the food. I was like, well, thank you, because I was going to do it after this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and prep everything. But he was like, it's all right. And he prepped everything.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
was like, this is
It's
great.
probably like therapeutic for him too, like
To
get
prep
away
everything.
and do that. Yeah.
I
No?
guess. I don't know. I don't, because I particularly don't find prepping for food fun.
Gotcha. But he doesn't do it often, right?
No, he doesn't. No. And then he
Yeah.
was working yesterday, so
Okay.
he
So
got.
yeah, it's probably like a little escape, a moment for him to like,
Mhm.
be in his
And
head for a
now
little
he's
bit.
stuck with them downstairs.
Well, for happy Father's Day. But, I was thinking about that. I was like, we have some amazing fathers, right? Like as
Mhm.
husbands, we have
Mhm.
great husbands and they're amazing fathers to our kids. And
Mhm.
it's nice that we have that, right? Like there are others. I mean, obviously, and your dad is a great father. You have
Mhm.
that as a good example too.
Mhm.
But when you think of Father's Day, like that wasn't, I never really ever acknowledged it up
Yeah, I was gonna
until
ask you. I just
Tom.
didn't want it to make it too heavy because we want to make this fun. But I was like,
No.
how did you growing
Yeah.
up feel about Father's Day?
I mean, as a kid, like I did the same thing as Sienna. Like I would make a card and like
Mhm.
I remember one of the cards that I made, it had like a tie with construction
Mhm.
paper that you can like lift up
Oh, I
and it
remember
would
those.
say,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
and it
remember
would say
those.
like
Yeah.
Happy Father's
Yeah,
Day,
yeah. My dad still has mine. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Mine's probably in the garbage. My mom probably burned it and like threw it in the garbage or something. But I remember that, but I would say after 8,
Mhm.
that
No.
was
Mhm.
once everything changed. I was like, we never really celebrated. I remember acknowledging it and
Mhm.
trying, but it was never something that was significant for
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
Father's Day was equivalent to Mother's Day,
Mhm.
that's who we celebrated. Um, but it wasn't until like it's not a sad thing for me. It's just one of those things, like it is what it is.
Okay.
Um, but my brother, so Ramel, when he became a dad and me seeing him as a father, to
Mhm.
me that was just like, wow, like that's a father. Like
Mhm.
that's an amazing example of a father.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I would get emotional over seeing that out of
Mhm.
joy
Mhm.
because to me it was just like I'm not crying, I'm just scratching my eye. Um, to me it was just we didn't grow up with that type of figure, and for
Mhm.
him to take the terrible example that we had and then flip it and becomes the amazing father that he is to his kids, my nieces
Mhm.
and nephew, I was
Mhm.
just like, wow, like
Mhm.
look at you, like this is inspirational, it's amazing,
Yeah.
and obviously Jess is an amazing partner and supports him, and they both have become amazing parents together, right? um so like that to me was always something that I would celebrate. So like
Mhm.
in my from like maybe 8 to like my early 20s up until he had Ramel Jr. I didn't really acknowledge it.
Mhm.
Just to like whoever I had outside of me, like friends that were parents, I would be like, oh, happy Father's Day, or like clients of mine, whatever. So I
Mhm.
never really, it was never a bummer. It was never one
Okay.
of those feelings. It was just like, oh, that doesn't apply to me. That's all. It doesn't apply to my life. That's all.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean I have to ruin it for other people.
Yeah.
So that's the way that I would always look at it. And then
Mhm.
now, obviously, I have Tom, and I'm just like, he is a phenomenal father.
Mhm.
Like, and even before we had kids, I always looked at him and I was like, he would make an amazing father. Like, he's
Mhm.
just very caring and loving and patient. His patience level is through the roof, especially with me. Like, the other day we got into like an argument, and he's like after the fact, right? He's like, Derek, you can never say that I was never not patient. Like, like your mom can never say, and it's true. It's true. So I'm very lucky in that sense that I might not have grown up with the best example, but as an adult, I've been able to have amazing father figures around me. Not father figures for me, but you know what I mean? Like around me. And for that, I'm super grateful for. But I know that's not always the case, right? I've been on the other end of that. So days like today, I say, let's celebrate the mothers that are both fathers and mothers that are playing both roles. Let's celebrate also the neighbors that step in and the aunts and uncles that also turn into all of these roles, and even the older siblings that become the parental figure. And, you know, my brother kind of turned into that too. Like he was the one that walked me on my wedding day. Right. And like did all of that. And I would turn to for advice and have all that. So happy Father's Day to happy Father's Day, first of all, to our husbands, right? Vic and Tom. And then happy Father's Day to Ramel, my other brother. And, you know, all the others that are out there that may not even have anybody there to say happy Father's Day for all that they do, because I know it can easily go overlooked, right?
Yeah.
And I know that there was something, I don't know if you shared it on the podcast page yet or not, but it was, you sent it. It was
yes, I did last night.
So you'll probably will share it, you know, today, but you know, there's a lot that because it's one thing to be, what's the word? To be a biological father, right? But to be a true parent, to be a true father figure, that's different, right? That takes action, that takes effort, that takes being present. And there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, whether it's having the partner in the birthing room with you and supporting you, being your advocate, you know, making sure that you're being taken care of, but they're also exhausted too, because they feel helpless in a sense too, because we're pushing, we're doing all this work, right? And also sometimes they may not have been the birthing experience that either one of you guys thought would have. And then they have to also be there to support in that sense. And I, at least from my experience with Tom, I always kind of remind him, I was like, you don't have to always be strong. Like, it's okay if whatever. He's like, yeah, I'm fine, or whatever. Like, he's very cool, calm, you know, always level-headed and all that stuff. And I was like, just so you know, I know you don't need the permission, but I just want you to know that if you ever feel a moment that you need to like break down or whatever it is, it's totally fine. Because I feel like sometimes maybe I may put a pressure on him to be a certain, like the hero or like the strong figure all the time, that I want to let him know, like, it's fine if you don't feel that way. It's fine if you don't. Because that, I think, might be something I do sometimes without even realizing it. So I don't know. That's just something I wanted to bring up. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about your dad. Your dad. I mean,
my
I
dad
know
who's slowly losing it at the age of 72. He really is. He
Really?
is. Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about that yesterday. We were like, so what are we going to do with him? Because he shouldn't be driving anymore.
Oh.
No,
okay.
yeah. You know, when they just start, like, his reaction time is not the same as before. And he's really like, he doesn't care.
What do you mean?
He will drive as slow as he wants to or as fast as he wants to. He actually got pulled over, like, the
For what,
last
driving
time.
too slow?
Driving too fast.
Oh.
And I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I was going 80. I was like, why are you going 80? I was like, I'm not going anywhere. Yes, we're expecting you, but you don't have to be here like that quickly.
So he just wanted to go fast.
No, he said that he was just, I think this was a senior moment, because that scared me, because I was like, were you not paying attention? He goes, yeah, but you know, we were going downhill, and I just let it go. I was like,
he said, I'm going to let go and let Jesus take the wheel.
Like, yeah, kind of like, you know how you're driving and you're going uphill. It goes faster
when you're
going
down.
And then you go down.
Gravity,
it was like, yeah. And he was just like, F it. Like, he didn't even try to brake. And it was like,
Wow.
All of a sudden he was
Okay.
going 80 and that's what he was doing. And they stopped him and they pulled him over and I don't know, because his English is really bad now that he's getting older because he doesn't practice it.
Yeah, because he's not at work
He's not
anymore.
working
Yeah.
anymore. So it's like he doesn't need to even bother. He
Yeah.
communicates with us in Spanish, it's fine.
Yeah.
But he talked himself out of the ticket. I don't even know how. He was like the guy stopped him and was like, "Oh, you're going like really fast." I
Yeah.
think it was maybe 35 over or 30 over the speed
Yeah.
limit.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, and my dad goes, "Oh, I was going uphill and I just like, whatever, it goes downhill and it goes really fast." And he was just like, "Oh, I'm going to go see my grandchildren. I'm going to go visit my daughter and all this."
He
Like
played the grandpa card.
he just started finessing his way and he got out of the ticket. I don't even know
Wow.
because
He pulled the grandpa card.
that was so funny. I was like, "Oh, you didn't get a ticket. You lucky man."
Was that today?
No, that was like 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Whenever he was here last, he was just like,
Okay.
"I got
Yeah.
a ticket. I almost got a ticket." I was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, he's losing it, man. He's losing it.
Do you think though that it's one of those things because he's getting older?
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes, especially after retirement, like people are just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna just live life and do what I want, and I'm
Yeah,
getting
that's what it is.
older.
And then, I don't know about you with your mom or whatever, but
Hmm.
he tries to play like I'm the veteran, like I'm an old man kind of
Uh,
thing. That card with everything. He's like, "Well, I'm an old man. Don't I get a discount?"
don't I get a pass or something?
And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, no, that's not how it works. I don't know if that's like a Latino thing. I see it a lot on like TikTok and Instagram, like those videos of like how you're at the store. I don't,
Yeah.
because I know like my parents rely on me
Yeah.
to do a lot of things. And there was
Yeah.
this video that I was watching. It was so funny. And it's like a lady at the store and she goes, "Why don't you go ask if they'll lower the price?" And I'm like, yo, this is not a haggling situation.
I mean, I've definitely encountered that. Like when I worked, I worked at like a really like luxury gym, and I remember I would get like older clients that would be like, "Oh, do you do discounts for senior citizens?" And like,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like silver sneakers or something like that. There's like a thing that they're a part of,
Mm-hmm.
and
ARP.
ARP, like all
Mm-hmm.
these things. I'm like, I'm sorry, like we don't, we're a luxury gym, like we don't honor those type of things, but
Yeah.
I can try and like maybe push back your start date and like,
Mm-hmm.
give you a free 2 weeks or whatever it is. But other than that, I've never really encountered that. I mean, my mom, one thing I will say, I was talking about it yesterday. So my grandmother's in the hospital, and I went to go visit her yesterday, and she has this like thing where she has no filter, right? She
Mm-hmm.
has no filter, and she's very big on, she's like, but I'm an old lady. Like she's in a cast and stuff. And she's like, she's fine. She'll be fine. But, she just fell. And it's one of those things that happen when you're older,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, look at me. Like she keeps trying to take off the cast. And
Oh,
she's
my
like,
God.
they have this on an old woman. I'm an old woman. This is too heavy for me. And like, she's not really understanding the severity. Like
Mm-hmm.
her
Mm-hmm.
leg is broken and her wrist and all that stuff. And she's like trying to take it off. And I'm like, Mama, like, tú tienes que quedarte tranquila, whatever. And she's like, my shoulder hurts. Like, me duele el hombro. I'm like, yeah, because you keep lifting this heavy cast. And she's like, this is for young people. This isn't for old people like me. I should
Mm-hmm.
be home. Why do you
Oh,
guys
my
have
God.
me in this bed? So the level of patience and just like no filter, like she'll say things to like, not to me because the grandkids, she doesn't speak too rudely, but my mom was there, my aunt was there, and she's like, vete de aquí, no me toque, whatever, and she's like very agitated and
Mm-hmm.
cranky.
How old is she?
So the the Dominican certificate says one thing versus the US certificate. So
Yeah.
she's anywhere from 80, 88 to 91.
Mm-hmm.
I am not sure which one
Okay.
is, but yeah, she's up there. And it's so funny because she was falling asleep and it was like a kid. Like I felt like I was
Mm-hmm.
dealing with Derek, like a toddler fighting the sleep because
Mm-hmm.
she would fall asleep. And she's like, me tienen que sacar de aquí. Yo quiero ir a mi casa. Like, I don't want to do,
Yeah.
and like she's over here talking about that she spoke to the doctor in Macy's.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's like I think the
Getting her stuff
phone.
confused a little bit,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
She told them last week, because she's been in there for a while now, and she told them last week that she was in Macy's with me shopping
Oh.
for purses and perfume and like all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff, that she picked out really good shoes with me. I hadn't been there, especially not taking her to Macy's out of the hospital bed. So, it's all of that stuff that I feel like she gets a pass. But one thing she does is like, and this is embarrassing, but like she'll fart and
Oh.
like she won't say excuse me. She won't like, she'll just walk by and she'll like
Mm-hmm.
crop dust you. And like
My
that's
dad.
one of the
So my
things.
dad's always been like that. So it doesn't. Oh my
she'll
god! I just
she'll
remembered something.
she'll do things like that, and then she'll also, like, if we're in public and we're walking,
Mm-hmm.
like we'll go to Macy's or we'll go to
Mm-hmm.
eat somewhere, she'll bump people with her purse, not on purpose but
Mm-hmm.
by accident, but she won't say excuse me or something,
Mm-hmm.
because to her she's like, I'm old, they should move out of my way.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this entitlement that,
Yeah.
but I think that is like an older person
Yeah.
type of
My
way
dad's
of
getting
thinking.
like that.
My mom's not like that. My grandmother is.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom is very like, she doesn't like to take up space, and she's very like to herself. But
Mm-hmm.
what were you gonna say? What did you remember
The
about your
crop
dad?
dusting. I just remembered. I don't even know where we were. If we were in ShopRite, I don't know. We used to go like do family trips to the supermarket where
Yeah.
it was like my parents would spend hours at the supermarket. I don't know if your mom ever did this, but we used to go shopping at ShopRite in Bergen County in
Okay.
Jersey.
Okay.
And they would take us, and it would be like hours. So
That's a far trip.
I would sit at like the area where they would have food and stuff. So I just
Yeah,
sit there and set up with either my CD player or whatever, and just
Yeah.
watch
Your Walkman.
everything go by. Yeah, whatever. It was just like, because they would take like 3-4 hours doing shopping for us.
What were
And my
they
dad,
doing?
he would like literally walk by whoever, and he just farts. He goes,
But is it loud? Is it loud?
and then like the lady would just go and like whoever he would do it in front of, and they'll look at him and they'll be like disgusting, and he'd be like, whatever, and keep walking. He's done it to people going up the stairs at the subway.
So wait, so he does it intentionally?
No, I don't know if he can hold it really, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if he does it intentionally. He may be doing it intentionally. He never gave a rat's ass about
Oh my
farting
God.
with anybody. He was so like I always have funny stories about him doing that stuff in front of people.
So then that brings me to my next question. So how are you and Vic with farting in front of each other?
Oh, we fart in front of each other, and I always tell him, stay
Yeah.
away from me. Mine smells like death. Because I'm the silent but deadly one.
See, yeah, no, we don't fart in front of me. Like, we know we do it, right?
Mhm.
And like but I think for us, we're like, out of respect for the other, we're like, we don't do it like openly that way. We'll do it if we're in the other room and be like, don't go into that room. I just farted in there.
Mhm.
But what I'll do is, like, if we're in the living room, I'm usually always with a blanket or something.
Mhm.
And we know ways to make them silent, right? Like, you just got to separate the butt cheeks, and then that way it doesn't go into, right? So we'll be on the couch, and I'm like, he'll try and come over. There's been times he tries to come over, like, hug me. I was like, no, don't come near me. Don't take the blanket off.
Because I'll crop dust you accidentally.
I just farted, so please don't do that. And then, like, we'll laugh about it. But we try not to. I don't know. It's just not in our dynamic. Like, we know we do it. We don't hide it from each other. But it's just like, we just don't do it. He'll burp openly and things like that. I'm not a burper. Like, I'll randomly have like a little burp and things like that, but not really. But my mom, she, like, if you were to put your mom and your dad and my mom in the same room, and your dad would do that, my mom would be one of those people, be like,
yeah,
quiero. Like, how do you do that and put my
but
mom
then my
as
dad
that
will
person?
turn around and be like, usted una vieja asquerosa.
Yeah,
because he doesn't care. No filter.
That should be.
No
yeah, we should
filter.
probably have like a family.
No filter.
That'd
No
be interesting.
filter.
Well, that's where you get it from. You have no filter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
but
true.
that's interesting. But no, okay. So let's put some pride on your dad's name right now. Let's not talk about him farting in public. Let's talk about him Like, he has done obviously a great job at raising his kids and being
Yeah.
present, and he's a
At
great
least he tried with
grandfather.
us, because I don't know how. I don't know. I actually don't really know the backstory with my brother and
Okay.
that situation, because I do have an older brother. He's, I think I would say, in his 50s. My dad was very young.
Yeah.
He was 20 when he had
Yeah.
him. So I don't know what the backstory is there. Obviously, my dad came to the States
Because they're
at
still in,
2021,
he's
and
in
he's still in
Ecuador, right?
Ecuador.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still in Ecuador. So, and I don't really have like a relationship with him per se. I
Yeah.
mean, I have him as a friend on like Facebook, but that's
Yeah.
about it. And like we'll comment on each other's pictures or whatever, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
Okay.
So I don't know what the history is with that, but I don't know if he was trying to like overcompensate when he had us.
Maybe.
And
Yeah.
he was always pretty good, I think. And he set us up so we had like, well, at least for me, sorry Sharon, he set me up with like bonds for college, so I had
Oh,
like a way to pay for books and tuition and all
that's
that.
amazing.
Like he tried to do
Yeah.
that because he knew we were going to end up going to school, and he was always very hard on us with that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. What else did he do? I mean, he was very fun. He used to like, and he tells me this because he's like, oh, when I used to come home, we used to walk to the park all the time, and go. We used to go to Riverside Park,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
I remember those walks vaguely, but I remember them.
That's
We used
nice.
to go to the park when he used to come home because he used to be here like 5:30.
Yeah.
And give my mom time to cook. He would go
He
out.
was working at the school at that time.
He's always worked. So I don't know if anyone's listening, but my dad used to work at Lehman College.
I didn't know if you wanted to say it. That's why I just
Nah,
said the
it's
school.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are probably like, damn, I remember that dude. He used to work in the print shop in
Yeah.
Lehman College, and he's worked there since, yeah, he was there for 30 years,
I've
35
definitely
years
interacted with your
around.
dad before knowing he was your dad.
Yeah, so he
Yeah.
used to make the copies for the teachers there and the students, and he
Yeah.
used to do stuff there. Yeah, for 35 years. Since Sharon was born, I think he was working there.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
because they gave him an opportunity to work there and go to school. So he did like a mathematics, I think it was, and physics
that's amazing.
minor. Like that's what he studied. But he didn't
That's
take it
amazing.
anywhere else from there because obviously his
Yeah.
English wasn't that great. So he was just like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to do whatever.
Yeah. 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 That's
Um,
amazing, though.
mhm,
And like, see, that's the thing. He was working and he was providing, right? But he
mhm.
was still a present father. Like, he
Yeah,
was
he
making an
tried
effort.
because my mom was kind of a meano.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
mom was mean. I mean,
Yeah.
but like I said before,
She
I'm
went
pretty
through,
sure it was
yeah.
PPD, and she was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
she wasn't happy
Yeah.
for a while. So
Your mom
he
worked,
tried.
right?
Yeah, and my mom went back to work.
Yeah.
She worked at our elementary school. So
Yeah.
anyone who went to PS 192, yeah.
Yeah. So, you have all of that, but he's still making an effort. And like,
Yeah.
I highlight that because some fathers think that being a father is simply just providing financially, right?
Mhm.
And being, supportive, like providing the household and food for groceries and all that stuff. But it's more than that. And I think that's a good segue into talking about Vic and what he does. And like Tom, like we're lucky in the sense that we have both of those things. Like we have
Yeah.
a complete partner that is present and still providing in other ways that, society expects them
Mhm.
to, which is also shifting. I think we talked about it the last episode, how the expectations have shifted from way back then to
Yeah.
now. Back
Mhm.
then,
That's
it wasn't expected for the dad to be fully present,
No, a lot of
showing
them would
love
just
and affection.
like come in, come home, and that's it. Like they would
Yeah.
see them for like the 5 minutes, like,
Yeah.
hey, or have dinner,
Yeah.
maybe,
And it was
and
totally
then
okay to say, hey, don't bother your father. He had a long
yeah,
day at work,
yeah, 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 yeah.
give him
And you know
space.
what? I still do that. Like I still like try to tell the kids, oh, calm down, stop jumping on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I know
Yeah.
you're happy to see him, but give him some space so he can like unwind.
He
Just
can
give him a
unwind. Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot, but I think it's helped that society as a whole has accepted the fact that these roles, right? Like the gender roles and all that stuff, they've had to adjust
Mm-hmm.
because the demand for things is not the same anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like now both parents would have to go to work, or if you're not doing both parents working, you have to, now it's known that the stay-at-home mom pulls in more hours and more work and deals with more stress than the parent that does go outside of the house, right?
Yeah.
To get a paycheck. So I think knowing all of that, it's adjusted everybody's way of thinking for the most part. I know there's some couples that are very traditional, very old fashioned. Nothing wrong with that. But our dynamic in my house, that's how it works. We're very
Mm-hmm.
equal in things, very balanced. Um, and we both do it. Even when I wasn't working, like
Mm-hmm.
he'll once he's done with work, he'll go to the gym and then he'll let me go to the gym and he'll give me the break and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
very fortunate to have
Yeah.
that. Were you gonna say something? Sorry, I saw your.
No.
I don't know if you were. Oh, okay.
I was just thinking like more about my dad. It's
Yeah.
just a funny story that I keep thinking about.
What?
Like
What's up?
just because he used to sit and do math homework with us, bro. That was
That's
terrible.
cool. No,
We had a blackboard in the middle of our hallway in our tiny apartment where
really, that's cool though.
he would teach us. Oh yeah, because my mom, since she worked at the school, she would get the school supplies, anything left over. I mean, I gotta tell you, we never, and I think about this all the time. It's like I know for sure we were struggling at some points because we would eat just like rice and eggs sometimes.
Yeah, yeah,
um and I never thought about this till like recently. It's like, oh man, my parents probably struggled to feed us sometimes because it was probably hard for them to be both working and have all this stuff for us
yeah,
all the time. I can't even tell you there was a bad like Christmas or bad,
yeah,
anything, because they shielded us so well.
yeah,
But I was thinking of him teaching us math, and Sharon can attest to this. He used to get mad because he's a math major and he used to know all the stuff
yeah,
before all this different math stuff that's coming out now. I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
wait. Um,
The new
he used to
techniques
teach
and
us
all that.
math.
Yeah,
He used to like do the math with us.
that's pretty
He
cool.
used to even do like the college math with us also too. Like he taught us all the math we know
So
all the way
wait,
up
so
into college.
so he was your personal like math
Tutor,
professor,
yeah,
tutor. Yeah,
yeah. He really was.
that's
He
pretty.
really
So
was.
are
He
you
used
good
to
at
do
math?
that.
That's a real
Yeah, I
question.
mean, for engineering, we had to do
Yeah.
5 math courses and like extra stuff. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting. So, do you like think about that? Like your profession, what you studied, what you went into, and what you know how to do. That probably
That
wouldn't
came
have
down from
been.
him.
Yeah, like
Yeah, and even funny, my sister, she's a math teacher, a high school
that.
math
I didn't
teacher.
know that. I knew she was a teacher. I didn't know what
Yeah,
subject.
yeah. She
Look
teaches
at
math.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So what does he say about all that? Like, does he acknowledge that he planted the seed and like was the
I don't know.
one?
I don't even know if he knows. Like
So when he
that
comes
comes
over
from
today,
him.
that's something you guys can talk about. Like, hey, I was thinking, do you know that this is you built?
Well, I
He
mean,
helped
he
build the
knew
foundation.
because he was doing civil engineering before he left his country, and
Gotcha.
like he wanted to pick up on something, and obviously that would probably be too hard for him here because it's not the same language. So he just did math because he says
Yeah,
it's universal.
numbers are numbers
Numbers, yeah,
everywhere.
exactly.
That's
So
like my mom. She was an accountant.
see, there you go.
Yeah. So it's she's like, she's one of those things. It doesn't matter the language. Numbers are
Yeah,
numbers.
doesn't yeah,
Granted,
doesn't
when you
change.
get into like the word problems and all these other things, obviously that's
I mean,
difficult. But
he defended himself with those word problems. I used to have to take the this class that they made us take. I forgot. It's like a problem solving class
okay.
in high school.
Okay.
Bro, that was terrible. He used to get mad. I
Like
remember.
statistics type of.
No, it was like you have 6 people
Okay.
on this side and you have to make them cross and they have to be in pairs and then but
Yeah.
they can't do this and this and they had like a whole bunch. Oh, I don't know. It was like a problem solving. I don't even remember. That class was terrible.
Yeah, no, I'm failing that class. It's
And
just
I keep thinking, I'm like, how? I don't know. Yeah, but my dad definitely sat with us a lot to teach us
that's
math.
amazing.
Yeah, he did that. I remember that. He's like, "Yo te dije, what did I tell you?"
He's gonna be there with the eraser, like in his hand, like that.
Yeah, yeah. And he used to do all the problems. Yeah, that was funny. I keep thinking about that. I could picture his face.
Yeah, that's funny. And like, does he help Sienna with like numbers, like math work,
No,
or
I
no?
mean he doesn't. really
He's
like
the fun grandpa, right? So he
he's a fun
doesn't.
grandpa, but he's also like I told you, he's becoming a like he's a totally different person now with technology. He'll sit on his phone, on his iPad playing.
Uh,
Like he's just like checked out.
yeah, yeah. He's like, I
Like
already
he,
did all my work.
yeah, I'm
I'm
done here.
retired now.
I've come to chill. Yeah. So
I've
he's
earned
kind of
the right
like,
to just chill.
it's funny because he actually stayed with Milo last week for like an hour
Uh huh.
for the kindergarten picnic that I had
Yeah.
to go to. And Milo broke his iPad screen. because,
Oh.
but my dad wasn't paying attention to him enough
So wait,
that,
Milo broke his own iPad or
yeah, because he
your
got
dad's?
upset
Oh,
because
okay.
he couldn't disconnect, he couldn't connect to the iPad for
Okay.
some reason, like whatever. There's a code on it, and
Yeah.
I didn't leave it with either one of them.
Gotcha. Got it.
And he got upset and he started hitting it, which is another thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this kid. He's had a bad temper,
But
and
that's normal around
he
this
was
age.
hitting the iPad screen with one of his Hot Wheels, and he dented the case thing cover,
Oh.
and it went through. He cracked it just slightly, but yeah, my dad wasn't paying attention. Or I'm like, he's like, and it's so he felt so bad. He's like, I'll buy you another one. I said it's fine,
Yeah.
but he was just like, he broke it. He broke it the minute I walked in. He didn't
Yeah.
even let me sit. He was
Yeah.
like, Milo broke his iPad, and I'm like, oh my god, like.
Yeah.
Like I always tell him, don't be afraid. You could tell him no. Like you could yell at
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like you
Yeah.
could tell him, take it away, whatever it is you need to do.
Yeah.
But
Like
yeah,
do what you used to do with us.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Where's
Like it's
that
fine. I'm
person?
not gonna get mad at you because I know this kid has a temper.
Yeah.
So like you have to tell him it's okay, and just take it away. But he let
Yeah.
him just sit there and hit it and hit it. He broke it.
Yeah. He probably also thought because of the case it wouldn't,
Mm-hmm.
penetrate or something.
No.
No. But the temper, that's normal
Mm-hmm.
around this age. And you also have to think of it from his perspective. He doesn't understand what's happening. He's like, this normally works. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand why this code thing isn't working.
Mm-hmm. I did it on purpose. I didn't want him to stay there and just sit there and watch the
On the
whole thing.
iPad.
Yeah. So
Yeah. But your father usually gets on the floor with him and plays with him and does all that, right?
yeah. I mean, he tries. He's a little old there, but he
Yeah.
tries.
Okay.
They find him funny. They just like to climb on him when he's so asleep. Like Sienna likes to pull on his eyebrows because they're
Does he
like
have thick eyebrows?
he has like thick but like viejito, and he like leans down like
Okay.
gray,
Are
like
they
his
like
stray hairs.
caterpillars? Are they
Yeah,
like
it's like
caterpillars?
stray hairs that go all the way down. I'm like, dude, I was like, you need to groom those things.
Yeah. Are they like what's his name? Dan Levy? The
Oh yeah.
Canadian
No,
actor.
they're less, but it's funny because it just go down, and I'm like, you need to groom them.
Yeah, no, so that's nice though that he's able to still, be a part of their lives that way
Mm-hmm.
though. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's gonna be moments, but like
Mm-hmm.
how's Vic though? Does he get down, like he plays with
Oh
them
my
and
god, he's like they have this game where they like to be eggs and bacon, so they pretend they're eggs and bacon on the bed, and he has to pick them up and throw
as
them.
like
We
a
have like
bacon?
we have this giant bean bag that's the pan,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
has to throw them on the bean bag
That's
to cook
funny.
them, and he flips them, and he like picks them up, yeah, and then they do shakes or which one's
What
their favorite?
shakes?
Like
Like
Milo's like,
shaking?
I'm a apple shake or whatever, and then like he pretends he's apple. Okay, he's like, all right, I'm grabbing the apple. And he puts them in, and then
Okay.
he like shakes them to make the milkshake.
Yeah, yeah. That's aw.
They do rocket ship.
Yeah.
What else was there? They do apple tree, where there are apples trees, and they're like standing like this with
Yeah.
their arms extended out, and he shakes them to get all the apples off. Yeah, they do a lot of stuff. I don't even know how he does it. Like
Yeah.
his back went out because he was on the floor, and they were like
Aw.
on his back
Yeah.
doing stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was fun until it wasn't.
Mhm.
Like
They have the most fun with him, and I feel bad because I don't like I don't know how you are with Derek, but
yeah.
I'm not into sitting down and playing.
Pretend. Okay.
Like it kind of annoys me a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll sit with them to draw or color or do
Yeah.
something, but I'm not into like the pretend playing and all the
Yeah.
wrestling and all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
just not. I don't do that. I don't like that. So
So
at least he does that stuff with them a
yeah.
lot. Yeah.
So that's why I brought that up, because it's the same thing with us, right? Like
Mhm.
I realized that the other day, more so. So like I'm the one that sits down with the coloring book and,
Mhm.
you know, I'll try and color and all that stuff and watch him. Tom is more of the wrestling and the tossing him around, and
Yeah,
the baby loves
I can
it.
do
And
that.
like we have a ball, like it's a really soft ball, but Derek loves when Tom throws it and like hits
Mhm.
him with it. And
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm like, oh my God, is he okay? He's like, he's fine. Like he's fine.
yeah.
So like I'm not that the playful one that does all that stuff. That's
Mhm.
dad. That's dad. That's time. That's not
Mhm.
me. I'm the one. Let's sit down. Let's play with the little thingies. Let's put together the blocks. Let's do that. Right.
Mhm.
And I think, and it's funny, Tom and I talk about it all the time. He's like, yeah, that's because you didn't have a childhood. You don't know what it's like to pretend and do all, and
Mhm.
he's totally right. Like
Mhm.
we say it jokingly, both of us, but it's the truth.
Mhm.
I've never had that. Like, so
Mhm.
I don't know what it's like to pretend to do the tea party or whatever, any of that stuff. Give me an
Mhm.
activity though, and I will color and I will connect the
Mhm.
dots and do all
But
that.
I don't, not because you didn't have a childhood, because I did. I mean, I used to have, my mom used to buy me like the tea sets and all that stuff. I had like little plate stuff. I used to have my Barbies, and I used to take
Yeah.
I used to actually put my Barbies up and take pictures of them, like photo shoots.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
that's
My
cute.
mom gave me back all the pictures that I
Yeah.
had, and I
Yeah.
actually had like an actual camera and developed film of like, I had a stack of Barbie pictures, just Barbie pictures set up.
Do you still have that album?
I have to look to see if she gave me those
Were they
pictures,
like
because they were
this,
like,
like with their
yeah,
arms, like
with the swimsuits, they're sitting next to each other. Yeah, it's funny, and it's
yeah.
funny because I actually looked up the one of the Barbies to see if they still sell them,
Yeah. Do
because it
they?
was like my favorite. It was a beach Barbie with Teresa. She was like brown haired.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They still, someone sells it on eBay for like $50, and it comes with a
No.
little
That's good.
perfume. But you don't remember there was like a little perfume that came with
Yeah.
them, and
And the little
I can
fake
smell it.
lipsticks
I can
and
smell it still.
yeah, so all the fake makeup stuff, it has a
Mhm.
distinct smell, which I'm
Yeah,
sure they're probably not
it's
allowed
probably
to make
plastic.
now. Yeah, it's probably, well, it's also probably completely toxic
Yeah,
and just unsafe. But my thing, so like, yeah, like
but
it's
back to
also,
what you were
no, but
saying though, like
I
it's
think
not.
for me, I attribute it to that, but I think
Mhm.
it's also just the way that our brains are probably set up,
Yeah,
like,
I
because
maybe.
we have a lot going on, right? Like we're thinking of, all right, we got to do this, we got to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Did I bring the chicken down from the free? Like, so there's a lot of like, I do get annoyed. Like I can only sit there for so long with the
Mhm.
pretend and all that. And I
Mhm.
also don't like the rough play because
Mhm.
I feel like he's going to get hurt and all that. But I do the, like the fake bouncy where I'm
Mhm.
like picking up, pitting down, that stuff I
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
But Tom is on another level of the wrestling and the playing and the pretend.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing I do is like he has like these little animals like lion, hippo, and all that, and I take the hippo and I go, "Ooh, the hippo's hungry," and I go,
Mhm.
and I
Okay.
do like that, and he cracks up. But that's as
Mhm.
far as my brain can go to the imagination make believe thing.
Mhm.
So I have my limits, but Tom is just like the fun, going to the park, run
Mhm.
around.
Yeah, yeah, he does all that too over here.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
I don't have the energy for it, I think
yeah. But
that's
see,
what it is.
for me it's weird because I'm like, yeah, we could run around the park, but I'm I don't know how to not be a serious runner. Right? Like if
Mhm.
I'm running around, like it's like, oh yeah, no, I can't run that fast with the baby. Like it has to be a true pretend run. Right? And
Mhm.
that's what I need to learn how to do
Mhm.
at this point. Like we'll walk and all that stuff. But I noticed that what I was trying to say before was I noticed it the other day because Tom, he was with his family and while I was like waiting for him, we were at the park and it was just Derek and I. So I tried the swings. He does not like the swings. He cries bloody murder.
Oh
You would
no.
think that he's not my son and I just try to steal him away from his parent
Mhm.
when I put him in the swing. And like, so finally I had to like point at other trees and I count the trees. So like that helps. And I got on the swing that, you can sit in, but you can hold the
Mhm.
kid. So like
Mhm.
I got on that and he was screaming and then I was like, one tree, two tree. And that was eventually what calmed him down. And I was like,
Mhm.
Tom is so much better at this than me.
Mhm.
Like he can truly just stay there and like play with him. And that's when I noticed it the most, when it was
Mm-hmm.
just us and Tom wasn't in the equation and I was trying to figure out how to play in the park as a
Mm-hmm.
kid. But we'll do the slide thing, we'll do all of that. But I'm just like, so, oh, he's going to fall or he's going to get
Mm-hmm.
hurt. So I think that's what it is. I think that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
allow me to be
To
more of the
enjoy, and yeah,
fun.
to be there and
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah. Like he just got his first scrape, his knee scrape the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Mm-hmm.
were both like, oh, that's his first knee scrape. And I was like, is he going to be okay? And Tom's like, yeah, he's fine. He's fine. So that's the difference between the two, which it
Mm-hmm.
works. It works because Derek has both dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, right, like how you were saying, like your mom was a Mino, right? My
Mm-hmm.
mom, my mom was not the affectionate one. My
Mm-hmm.
dad was the affectionate one, which
Mm-hmm.
obviously causes its own issues, right? But
Yeah.
he was the one that was loving, hugging. He would put me on his shoulders and we would walk around the house and he would hold me. And like those are memories that I have as a kid
Mm-hmm.
that I always like I would talk to Tom about like when I was pregnant and stuff and I'm like, "Oh, like I can see you doing that
Mm-hmm.
with, our kid." Those are the things that I look at. That's parenting. That's being a father, right? It just, that for me as a child didn't last, obviously, but those are the things I remember that my mom, now looking back, she didn't have the time to do all these things because
Mm-hmm.
my
Because
dad
she
would just
was,
come.
yeah.
He would come, show up, visit. Essentially, he would just visit and then he would leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy for him to be the fun, loving parent in that 2 hour, 1 hour mark. But my mom
Mm-hmm.
had us all day and
Mm-hmm.
she had to cook and clean and organize our clothes and do all this stuff. So it's a different dynamic. Here we don't have that. Here it's
Mm-hmm.
we're both equally doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, to focus on like the message of the episode is I am very fortunate, very grateful to have that because I know it's not easy to even go against what you've experienced, right? What
Mm-hmm.
fatherhood or parenting was like, and then say, I'm going to do better. I'm going to be a better parent.
Yeah.
And, Vic, obviously, we have the same father,
Yeah.
right? And the father that you're describing him to be, and that I've seen because through the videos you send me and all the stuff, even at the birthday party, he is a present father that's
Mm-hmm.
there and loves his family. Like you can see it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I look at. Like you can see the joy and happiness in these men's faces when they're with their kids and their family. And to know that
Mm-hmm.
they are one of, the main pillars that holds the family together and they're happy to do that and make an effort every day is
Mm-hmm.
huge. Just showing up is huge. And that's something that we don't realize as much, but our kids are absorbing all of it. How
Yeah.
he is with you, how he interacts with you when he gets home from a rough day at work or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is. And when you have a rough day with the kids, how you guys soothe each other. That's
Mm-hmm.
all a part of it. Like fatherhood isn't just parenting, isn't just how you interact with your kids, it's how you interact with your spouse and your partner. Even if you're co-parenting too, right? Or if you're
Yeah.
just separated and you're trying to make it work, how you
Mm-hmm.
talk about the other is
Yeah.
also huge and very, very important,
Yeah.
because those kids are not gonna absorb, well, oh yeah, my mom used to say this and this about my dad,
Yeah.
or my dad would say this and this about my mom. But growing up, and even if they're co-parenting, knowing that you speak respectfully
Mm-hmm.
of the other,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not they deserve it, that's different, right? Whatever happened
Yeah.
between the couple, that's different. But as a parent, if they're present and they're making an effort, then it's worth at least hearing your kids, like your kids hearing you speak about the other in a
Mm-hmm.
respectful way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think all of that matters. All of that
Yeah.
matters. And if you are co-parenting, if are a single parent and you're trying to make it work, just know that like the support and everything that you do, I would say that everything that you do, everything that you say is important and valuable, even though we may think it goes unnoticed because it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. Think of all the childhood memories that you look back and be like, oh, I don't even think oh, I just remembered this, or I didn't even realize that. They're going to go through the same thing. So
because actions is what's remembered.
it's actions.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not what was said. How did they
Yeah.
feel when they were around you? How did they feel when dad came to visit that weekend and picked them up? Or, you know, when you're interacting after a rough day at work, how did they feel in their home? Did they feel safe? Did they feel comfortable? Did they feel loved? And that's the thing. Like, I was reading about that the other day. Like, kids don't know the definition of love, right? Like, they can't read it like how we read it, right? They base it on actions. So whatever action or however you treat them, that's what they're going to define as love. We're their first example of what love is. And that's huge. So if you don't have the support, if you don't have the partner next to you, know that what matters is your actions and the love and the effort, support that you put into your home and your family. And if you do have the partner that does that, that's great, you know. And if you are figuring out how to co-parent or doing all that, remind yourself of that. Even if there's nothing nice that you can think of to say, then don't say anything.
Yeah.
You know, don't, because I grew up in the middle of that too.
Yeah.
My mom would say terrible things about my dad, and my dad would say terrible things about my mom. You know, and I remember looking back at a time where I believed both of those things to be true. I was like, oh yeah, that's true. My dad is this and my mom is this. And then being torn as a child, like, well, what's the truth here? I thought this was the truth. So that's my takeaway from all of it. Like, just whatever actions, whatever it is that you do in your home, right? Like, know that that's what the kids are absorbing. And Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever it might be, like, you celebrate the efforts that you're putting into your children, and we know it's not easy. So, yeah, I don't know. That's my takeaway here. But we're celebrating obviously fathers and great fathers like Amy's dad. You didn't mention your dad's name, did you? Freddie. Yeah. So Freddie and Vic, and then for me, it's Tom and Ramel, which is my older brother. But thank you to all of those great father figures in our lives, and even the not so great ones. They've taught me, at least, what to look out for when it came to choosing a partner.
Pretty much.
See, that's the way you flip it around. You flip it around into a positive. So thank you to my dad for showing me what not to get as a partner.
What not to do. Not to do.
The
that's
red
what
flags.
Vic says all the time.
Yeah, what not to do. But yeah, that's my takeaway. Amy, if you have any
parting thoughts?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Father's Day and Mother's Day should be every day.
It is every day. But, you know, marketing and the economy.
Trying to make money.
The economy needs a boost every once in a while. So here we are. And also, back to like the initial thing, it doesn't matter. You don't have to buy a gift in order to show your appreciation. You know, a lot of it is in the actions and what you do daily.
Yep.
Right. So
that's true. That's very true.
But, you know, I don't know how to make Reese's peanut butter cups, so I'm just going to buy them. So that's what I'm going to do. And he appreciates it either way. Or little things like unpacking the suitcase that has been sitting there full of clothes. Because I know he's never going to get to it. So I'll do that for him. Those are the type of things that I show the acts of service. That's one of my love languages. So that's what I'll do. And I think it's one of his languages, whether he admits it or not. He says it's all mumbo jumbo, all that crap. But yeah, thank you to the listeners as well for being patient with us with all these transitions that we're going through. We will take a real like vacation break.
Yeah.
So we did want to also highlight that because mamas need a break. And but we'll try to catch up things, and who knows, we may have like a same room in person clip at some point soon.
At some point.
We're planning on it. We're going to figure it out. But no, thank you guys so much for listening. And sorry, we didn't really have any gift ideas or anything like that.
No, because I'm out of
That's just not what
ideas.
we do, though.
I'm
It's not
out
what
of
we do.
ideas.
But I will say, just if you need any gift ideas or anything like that, think of what do they like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the things that Tom needs is chargers. So I'm getting him some chargers. Like so if they need socks or white t-shirts or,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. Something special. Like 1 year, actually, this is one thing I'll share. Before the baby was born, there was this one really creepy sonogram picture that Tom loved and adored because you saw like the eyeballs.
Oh
And
God.
it looked
It's
creepy.
just like it's the
It looked
skeleton.
very, yeah, it was like the skeleton and like really creepy. And he was like, I love that. That's my favorite. So I was like, oh, okay. And I put it in a leather keychain,
Mm-hmm.
the picture with the leather keychain, and I put the initials, like Tom's initials,
Mm-hmm.
on it. And that was like his first official like Father's Day gift.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh my God, I love this. Like, so cool. And like, it was just like a freaky picture of Derek. Sonogram picture. He loved it. So little things like that, right? Like if you don't have kids, like a kid that has the age yet to create things,
Mm-hmm.
little things like that would be nice. Or their first picture together. You
Mm-hmm.
can print
I
that
don't. I
out.
don't. I'm trying to remember. What have I done? I can't remember. I have no idea.
No?
No, nothing comes to mind of what I've done for Father's Day. This is bad. This is mom brain at its finest.
I'm sure you've done something.
Because I get them confused because everything is so jumbled together for me. Like
Yeah.
Father's Day, birthdays, Christmas.
Yeah. You do something.
I've done stuff, but I just
Yeah.
can't remember off the top of my head. I've done like little handprints, maybe.
Okay.
That says Happy
That's
Father's Day
always
with
cute.
the little prints. I think he
Yeah.
has that framed. I think
That's
it's
really
a Father's
nice.
Day one. I don't know. It might be a happy birthday one. I can't remember.
It's all the same. But yeah, no, it doesn't matter what the gift is, as long as they feel appreciated and loved.
Yeah.
It matters. It matters, especially for the fathers that aren't, babysitting. They're actually parenting. Anyway, we appreciate you guys, all the strong, capable, present father figures that we have around us. We appreciate you and love you very much. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this episode, right, Amy?
Yep. Happy Father's Day. And
Happy
remember,
Father's Day.
ladies, you are doing a great job.
Yes.
Bye.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a great day.